Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Prince John Internet TV. Okay, today, more notes. It's important to consider the job, type of occupation you're going to have, and who you think would be compatible with that job. I'd like to be a DJ, for example, among other things. So I think about that when I think about who might be a good match. And of course, using the light work, though, I think is another help to make it all figure it out instead of just using the mind. I'd like to earn people's trust and communicate with them my feelings as opposed to trying to something else, like trying to show off and be like a fancy person or a rich person. Just let them know me as opposed to trying to hide that. It's a habit that needs to be developed. Don't feel bad for unhappy people, because the most effective thing you can do is either be a good listener for them or smile and try to introduce some favorable energy into their circumstance. And the business strategy to do the first one free, to give people a sample of what you do, whatever the first project is for the first hour of the work, for example. That way they can get a sense of whether they actually want to hire you and compensate you. Also, I think that work is truth. Work, the work I do for the community is the action that is best affecting the community, as opposed to trying to encourage other people to commit to the same religious practices that I have. Also, when feeling bad about something, think about it as a compelling energy. So turn it into something positive, like an encouraging force. And now, think about the ego. It just wants attention, but I want to be happy and I want to be with my wife. Uh, let's see. Try out these things. Don't just listen to what I'm saying and do it. Try it and see if it works for you. Also, when intimate with yourself, consider touching yourself erotically and not just going straight at it. But I mean, women do this more often than men. So men, try to be a little more sensual with yourself so that you can have control and really enjoy your own body for what it was made for, instead of turning to things like marijuana or workaholism and other forms of pleasure. Imagine shields of light around people. Like, in Star Wars, they have those shields, those bright white shields deflecting. Uh, okay, also, uh, don't just hide your feelings in the tone of your voice. Communicate them specifically, so that way it's clear, because you can't expect the other person's always going to understand you unless you're very precise. Alright, sometimes I feel guilty about not exercising, so I recognize that feeling, and it's a bad feeling. And so how do I turn it into good? Well, not just by stressing myself out with a rigorous exercise, but rather to impress somebody else, like seem like a fast person or something, but just exercise for the enjoyment of it. And music, whenever I'm feeling down, I just turn the music on, and that makes everything happen. If you're interested in having my music library collection, I've got about 100 gigabytes of cool music, and uh, also pornography, and so let's make this world an amazing and delightful place, and normalize sexuality as well. All right. And so just contact me if you're looking for a DJ or something. Let's go for it. All right. So add me as a friend on Facebook. Okay. So I believe that the field talks to me. Like if, for instance, I encounter an unreasonably rude person, then I might consider that there's something I've done in my life to karmactically have that being sent towards me. So for instance, let's say I'm consuming a dairy product of an animal that's hurt a lot. Well, maybe I'll experience pain from another source, like unfriendly people, until I deal with that problem. All right. So also, the nice thing about getting physical USPS mail is it comes one time a day and you can look at it when you want. So consider that doing that for email, maybe just checking it once in the evening instead of all the time. I think we're entering the realm of the end of organized religion because everyone believes something unique, and the way we connect with each other is just with common courtesy and with work, instead of saying, oh, we're all children of God, or we're all Christians. Make yourself your own person. Like me, I'm John Onolani Remus. That's me. Uh, I think it's an idea to pay people when they get upset so that they don't have to work and they can deal with their problems instead of being in society. And so, for instance, if somebody gets upset at their spouse, call some police-like agency and tell them you're angry, and then they can help you with that, like a therapist would. Except it's a formally organized and structured system that the government deals with. That's along my theory of don't depend on other sources for charitable actions, such as the church, but rather let's make it a government thing where we can all agree upon it. Okay, what else? I think it's wise to arrest people who try to make others angry, like who try to instigate situations. Let's stop violence at its root as soon as possible. What else? Um, Hold on, please. Take a deep breath. Uh, Try to judge a person just on the way they look, not on a religion that they say they are. And again, for me, for example, I might want many views on my YouTube channel, but ultimately the final objective is to be married with a wife, so I have to keep that in mind. Okay. Um, what else? What else? Take a deep breath, relax. Instead of trying to attack a bad guy back, try using something of a rehabilitational value, such as giving them, like let's say somebody tries to steal something, instead of arresting them, try giving them maybe some food or some money instead of just, and see if that has an effect. And notice how if somebody says, oh, those people are so rude, you can quickly tell that, well, that person's probably rude themselves, so they're dealing with that rudeness energy. So take that into consideration. And last but not least, we have a few more ideas here. Think of a couple in the context of living alone and not what others would think about the relationship. So in other words, if you're liking somebody, don't think of that person as if somebody else is trying to say, oh, that person would be good for you, but or oh, they people would think I'm cool because I'm with this person of a certain culture. And another thing to ask is, if I was an if the woman was an older person, would I still talk to her? That's one indicator of whether I'm after her body or her personality. And if I'm upset at somebody, try saying they are mean. Instead of saying they are mean, introduce myself and say that I, my feelings were hurt by what you did, and maybe offer my services. Say, is there something I could do to make you feel better? Because you must be, you know, there must be a reason for your anger or unhappiness if they said something rude. Okay, so don't expect people to recognize good intention. Only the universe or the field feels it. And remember, your reaction determines your future. And try not to buy too much or build too fast. And use email when trying to interact with somebody you're romantically interested in. Send her a list of music you like, for example. In business, always try to remember to get at least 2 quotes before making a purchase. Always state intention when initiating a conversation. For example, if you're looking for charity, tell that person that you are instead of just trying to falsely befriend them. Um, Bottom line, we're either making decisions for ourselves or somebody else is doing it for us. Alright, thanks for being here with me, and remember to do the light work. Take care.